So sometimes it really pays to keep things simple in the market, guys. Multiple times in the last 60 days, we've pointed out that Apple is the easiest trade on the short side. Now, just because it's the easiest trade on the short side doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to make you the most money. However, it is important to pay attention to Apple chart because it is deteriorating at the speed of light. So we've pointed out on the 1st of January or the 2nd of January, when the stock was trading right here, was a great short. We put Apple on our top 10 stocks to short for 2024. And based off the chart, it's got a ton of momentum to the downside. As you remember, this bounce right here was associated with a Bank of America analyst upgrading shares of Apple. And again, we've called him out and we basically said, look, what are you doing trying to upgrade the shares of something that's about to drop to $130 a share? But yet, some analysts on Walters are going to do something stupid like this. And again, this bounce represents the greatest shorting opportunity to short shares of Apple in like last 45 days. So since then, it's been nothing but a drop. Well, one more bounce right here up to the blue line. It's a drop. From the technical standpoint, this blue line will cross the orange line. There will be a def cross. Right now, we're in the formation of a def hook. Basically, the next stop at Apple is 165. And clearly from there, I mean, we're not that far off the 130 level. So don't be touching shares of Apple on the call side until it hits 130, guys. And it's hard to visualize when not so long ago it was trading at 200. And now we're talking about 130. And now we're looking at the chart that is just, I mean, it is ugly, but it can get way, way, way uglier. So the chart is not so ugly to the point where you're like, okay, let's buy it. It will get really ugly when everyone's going to be unloading the shares of Apple. Now, what kind of impact could it have, and what exactly is this trajectory of the Apple chart telling us about the rest of the market? Well, it was clear to us here at 30 Market Moves that just a sub 200 level, when everyone was upgrading or getting optimistic on Apple shares, we already knew that the market was in progression of a downward spiral crash. But it's not yet obvious because every day you look at the market and, well, the indexes are up, the indexes are up. Well, the indexes are supported by just a handful of shares, while clearly majority of the market resembles the chart of Apple. So we're going to see more and more charts turning to this type of formation. And before you know it, the four stocks that have been driving the market higher, they're not going to be able to sustain these mediocre gains in the indexes, such as S&P, which really has not moved in a long time. These plus minus 20 point, but making it by 5 points higher a day, creating new time highs. That's not the kind of momentum that it's that's gonna last. Basically, there's going to be a much greater move for the S&P. There's going to be a much greater move, as we pointed out in a 1 hour audio message over the weekend, that the biggest short is going to be RTY. People's been so, I mean, imagine if Apple, that's sitting on a ton of cash, is having a chart like this. What is like a small company, okay, that doesn't have billions of cash on a balance sheet? How do you think their charts are going to look? So RTY is your best short, which normally is presented on the chart of IWM. Would be, I mean, if you trade, there's various ways to trade Russell. So for that reason, guys, you should get in touch with the 13 Market Moves coach by going to 13mmtv.com. But guys, there are moments where this could be considered a cup with a handle. Now, there's two things that normally happen that are not often talked about when we're talking about a formation like this. So cup with a handle is normally a very bullish formation, but considering some other things here, such as divergence on the RSI, such as divergence on the buy volume, such as the fact that everyone that wanted to buy it has already bought it, and now they could unload it at the speed of light. Most of these type of formations indeed will resolve into a failed breakout. A failed breakout, such as, for example, last week we've used this chart of Domino's Pizza to point out to this black candle, and since then Domino's is doing nothing but dropping and moving slightly sideways to lower. So that's what's likely we're about to see with the Russell index. So it's an easy short. Now, there's way better trades out there, but basically if we go back to the chart of Apple, it's telling us that the market is coming to realization that they've been wrong for the last 4 months about a lot of things, which I will reveal in the next video. But just for the sake of the one edge that you can put as a trader in your arsenal right now is focus on the Aapl chart. The acceleration of the breakdown on the Aapl chart is going to be happening at lightning fast speed, and generally this is not a good fucking thing for the market. So let's face it, we're about to see some major red days for the rest of the indexes, for the rest of the market, for the rest of the stocks. So this is a perfect time for you to sign up to trade with the 13 Market Moves coach, because we know how to short them bounces. We're always a step ahead before the market. So especially if you trade short-term weekly options expirations, this is your moment, guys. There's going to be a 50x trade put together this week again, as we've nailed some 50x trades over the course. Every week we've had 1 or 2 30, 50x trades, guys, over the span of the last 5 weeks. So don't miss this week 50 extra. Go to 13mmtv.com, sign up to trade with a coach. And by the way, for those of you that are going to go and try to short Aapl, guys, the train is gone. We were shorting Aapl over here at 195. We're shorting Aapl right here at 188, 187. Guys, the train is gone on Aapl. Yeah, it's going to drop to 130, but guess now that it is apparent to everyone that Bank of America analyst was out of his fucking mind to upgrade the shares here. Well, the options on the put side now, they're going to carry a premium. So you come into the party too late. You can go back on our channel and review all the bearish videos we have posted to Aapl. One of them, I think, was even called "Don't Get Hit by an Apple." So, guys, short the fuck out of this market. There's certain things that will drop to a much greater extent than Aapl. It's just Aapl is a good analogy to understand what's happening with the rest of the market right now. Let's roll, make big money when stocks drop.
This was you at 9:30 this morning, feeling lucky when the market just opened up. Feeling lucky without any calculations. Now, this was you at 4:01 p.m. when the markets closed. Suddenly realizing that some calculations would have definitely helped you out today. And this is you now, trying to figure out how to get it all back.
Great news! You're only 13 moves away from figuring it all out.
Calculate your next trading move before it happens so you can celebrate each trading day. Get the 13 Market Moves formula today and begin to trade fearlessly.